Hey guys, Harry here, and today we're going to do a toolbox video. So, first off, I'm just going to go through the tools as they appear in the box. So, we've got a brushing off brush here. It's a nice soft horsehair brush. As you can see, it's dusty, so we're going to limit the dust that goes onto the carpet. And that's my cat. Oh, Mikey, come on, out of the way. So that's the brushing off brush, soft horsehair brush, really good for wet bricks. Got a pair of rigger gloves. Rigger gloves ideal for loading out. If you know you've got no gobbo coming, or you need to clean the trowels off, nice pair of thick gardening rigger gloves, ideal for just loading out and cleaning up. So you don't ruin your bricklaying gloves, get some rigger gloves for loading. Don't need that. Duct tape. All bricklayers know that your hands can get worn out, calluses can open, splits can happen in your thumbs. Good way to mitigate that if you haven't got any gloves to hand, get some duct tape wrapped around your fingertips, your thumbs ideally, because that's where you get like a lot of wear on your thumb, so that's one of the main reasons why your thumbs can split open if you haven't got gloves on. Right, got a couple of barrels. Spare barrels here for the Amtech jointer. I use the barrel jointer variant, so obviously some guys use the angle, the bucket handles, but I use the barrels. I've got a sponge. It's ideal for dry bricks, brushing off dry bricks, like some come up lovely smooth bricks, any sills, any corbels, any like engineering bricks. Give these a scrub when they've gone dry. With the brush it comes up great. Hultifer's Brickmate tape, one of the best tools in my toolbox. Great for checking the gauge without having to scratch your head. Perfect for setting out walls, setting out footings, getting your block gauge when you're skinning your block out of your beam fill. If you're doing an internal block work on, say, a party wall or a garage or anything, internal block work, you just set it out with this. It shows you your block gauge here. Obviously you can see bricks and blocks. Half a block being 220, full block being your number one, 450 with a joint. So great bit of kit. Next but not least, my standard tape measures. So these are, got two tape measures here. We've got a KRC cheap rubbish. This is my backup. Sometimes I like to have one at each side of the wall, so I've got these two, one at each side of the wall. I'll get them out. And these are my rough ones. As you can see, they've had a lot of hammer. 75mm is no longer there. So, yeah. And we've got a good tape measure somewhere in here. Let's move on. Utility knives. Got a few of these in here. Cheap knives, Stanley knives, whatever you want to call them. Box cutters. Got a few of them just for opening bricks. Cutting damps. Really handy to have. Barrel jointers. Got a variation of sizes. You see, you've got the ½ inch, the 3/4, the 3/4, ½ inch, smaller variants. I've got about 5 or 6 of these. The barrels do wear out, so it's good to just get a fresh set. Fresh set every time. Can't go wrong. This is my snagging chisel. Getting blocks out, bricks out, smashing away concrete. It's got a nice rubber guard on it. It's good for smashing bricks out when you don't have to get that right down to your knees. You can hold your hammer back, get some distance. Got a Rolson pointer here. Also off camera. Recently got a Marshalltown version. This is a blockwork jointer. That's your blockwork. That's your blockwork side. This is your brickwork side. This is good for heritage style bricks with a nice, it's a bigger style of jointer than this. This is like a small version, but very similar bucket handle style. Do prefer the Rolson style, to be fair. You stop your rasping your knuckles as much as the Marshalltown, but Marshalltown is better quality. Trowels. Obviously you saw the last video of me discussing the 11 inch. I also have two 10-inch Philadelphias. That's my dad's, that's mine. He uses his for pointing. Mine, this used to be his trowel used for pointing until I stole it off him. Always keep them clean. A little bit of a mark there, so let's clean those up. Hammers. This is the biggest one they do. Ideal for cutting stone, heavy blocks. Big trowel, very ideal. Very good. The ox grip, one of the biggest ones they do. As you can see, I've been cutting Expomet, chicken wire, tram line, whatever you want to call it. I've been cutting the metal reinforcing on the side with my hammer. Good way to cut the reinforcing. When it comes to brick hammer, we've got a cheap Silverline brick hammer. I haven't got my bolster in here at the moment. I left it on site, but I've got a Silverline little hammer. This is ideal for just snapping halves, any little finicky cuts. It's really good for hitting nails in as well. I normally have a claw hammer, but I think my dad's got that. So nice for hitting nails in, snapping halves easily, and it's good to hammer the pin in. Just to have one at each side of the wall. I've got a Magnuson version of this, but a bit heavier. 2 pointing trowels for doing flaunching. This is my super flauncher. And then when they're not used for that, I basically wedge them behind the profile, like so. Good for flushing up, beam filling, you know, joist ends. Any bits of snagging, these come in handy. But yeah, always good to have a couple of them. Rest of my more good nick barrels. I got this the other week. It's in better nick. You know, this is what they look like when they're newish. And this is like what they get like when they're old. They get a bit worn around this area. I tend to rub quite hard with this, and then they get worn around here as well. So I did give these a clean off, but as you can see, there's still a bit of dust in my box, even though I cleaned it out. Same again, that I said the duct tape before. Electrical tape, same thing. Another utility knife. Corner blocks. Standard and textile orange ones. These are a bit cut off here for when you're for the line, so you can see the gauge marks on your profile. To be honest, you know, I just pick up whichever corner blocks I get out of my box. I don't go for the specific ones. There's one here that I found laying around on the ground, the bottom of a scaffold, so I'll just put that in my box as well. This has had the same idea, cut off the end. You know, it doesn't really matter. You know, I always just, sometimes if you want to see the gauge, just lift the corner block up a bit. So, it's easy enough to do. Adjustable spanner for open areas fences, adjusting scaffolds. Shouldn't really do that, but needs must. My good tape measure. This good tape measure stays on me at all times. Clip it to the side of my shorts, and if I can't get it on the side of my shorts, I just put it in my hoodie pocket. And my best friends when setting walls out, or even taking over existing walls that have already been set out by the ground workers. Square. Setting out corners, internal corners, external corners. Just check them for square. Make sure you're in the right ballpark. Can't go wrong. And last but not least, got a screwdriver for just getting odd screws out and altering the Stanley blades. And we've got a pair of rough footing lines. These are for like block work and stuff that isn't really seen. Use this if we're in the topsoil and in all the mud. Use your crappy lines. And these are my good lines. I've got a pair already on the wall I've left over the weekend, which I don't recommend doing, but this is my shorter version for smaller stretches of boundary wall. Nice little small, have a big and a small line. This is Spear and Jackson line. It's ideal. Lasts a bit longer than the Rolson line. It's a lot stronger, so that's it, guys. That's my toolbox. I'll put these all back in on camera. Tell you how I fit everything in. This is a little standard little Stanley box. I have a few nails in the top. Nothing special. Little Stanley box. Just about 20 quid from B&Q. Trowels on the side. I'll just get my big one in. Fits as 11-inch easy. don't think you'd be able to fit a 12 in there very easy, so it's sort of limited to an 11-inch. Point trowels, jointers. I took the tray out. It comes with a tray in the top, but I took that out. Tapes, 3 tapes, 4 tapes. In fact. Yep. 4 tapes. Knives, 3 knives. 1 screwdriver. Bucket handle jointers. Spanner. More barrels. More replacement barrels. Brush. Corner blocks. Two lots of duct tape. Can't have enough duct tape. Brush, sponge, super chisel, and loading out gloves. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching. Takes a bit of shaking around. One side done. Normally takes a bit of... There we go. Thanks for watching. And I'll do a separate video on levels because I can go into a bit more detail about levels. See you in the next one.